We start with Maria Elisa Mazzotti from Save the Children Italy. Maria Elisa has a degree in political sciences from La Sapienza, famous university in Rome. And she is specialized in international politics and has a master in social economy and international corporations. And as I understood it correct, Maria, you did a lot of work in the field of the rights of children and human rights. And so you have been employed for some years in the human resources management, is that right? And since 2005 you worked for Save the Children Italy. So I would say we just start and the floor is yours.
Can you see me? So, first of all, I will beg your pardon because I shall leave after the presentation because of my flight departure. It's a very unkind also, sorry to the other speakers, but it does not depend on me. So I'm going to speak to you about new media education, rights and responsibilities of future citizens of a digital world, and I'm going to present you the contents of this manual for teachers. We translated it also into English in order to make it available for more teachers as possible. So these are the main points of my presentation. I will go fast at the beginning. I think you heard also from other speakers about Save the Children, which is a world's largest independent international organization. We work in over 100 countries in the world, and we are a network of 27 national organizations. And I just want to stress that all national organizations work on international programs, but also on domestic programs. And as Save the Children Italy, we operate on a national level, paying particular attention to the weakest and potentially most vulnerable groups of minors in our country. In particular, we develop operation for unaccompanied migrant minors and victims of child labor and other forms of abuse. But we also carry out wide-ranging activities pertaining educational programs and also online safety. And I work properly for an area called Children and New Media. So in the framework of this area, we are the coordinator of the combined node called EAST, which is a project co-financed by the European Commission within the Safer Internet Plus program. And so we run EASY, which means Enhancing Awareness on ICT Safety for Young People. EASY is an awareness-raising campaign promoted by Save the Children and Adiconsum, which is one of the most famous consumer association in Italy, targeting mainly pre-adolescents with the aim to helping them relate more safely and competently with new technologies. And we are also part of InSafe, the network of all awareness campaigns in the European Union. And then we run since 2002 Stop It, which is an hotline where user can report child abused images and other online pedopornographic materials too. And as an hotline, we are part of INOP, which is the network of the hotlines, a worldwide network. So these are the areas of our intervention. In the middle, you can see the triangle. At the top, there are young people who are our main target, and on the basis, teachers and parents who are very important because they can influence through education young behavior, online behavior. But around the triangle, there are lots of areas where we have to work, because they have a strong influence on our main targets. So we do a lot of work with industries, with mobile phones operators, social network operators. We are always in contact with media to influence on the way they present the relationship between children and new media. We make advocacy with institutions and local administrative bodies, and we cooperate in the civic society with lots of other organizations. So these are only some examples of our activities. We do lots of direct work with children during the so-called Awareness Rising Weeks. We travel all around Italy with a bus equipped with new technologies. We visit schools, and there we meet parents and teachers, and especially we do media education activities with children. Then we have advocacy action, especially devoted to the Ministry of Communication and the Ministry of Education. For instance, we try to we ask them for to put media education in the school curricula. Then we develop research with the universities in order to study the phenomenon of new media among how children use new media. We have a website, www.easy4.it, where we put all kind of our materials, information about our projects. We produce materials for different targets, and we have also a monthly newsletter we send to our all our stakeholders, and we have a national help desk which give information to all people interested in carry on awareness activities in online safety. On the other side, we have the activities concerning the hotline. We have another website, www.stopit.org, where you can find lots of information about Italian legislation against child abuse or online pornography, everything concerning child abuse images. And there's a reporting system where every users can report such kind of images. We do a lot of advocacy, especially to promote among institutions this a new sensitivities for victim identification. It is very important for the police to catch the predator, to catch pedophiles in the internet, but it is also very, very important to identify children who are represented in these images in order to recover, to offer them a path to recover their status, because those children can be still abused by others in the internet. So, especially in the part of advocacy and the awareness raising, the hotline and the awareness campaign come in contact, and we promote same activities together, especially in the part of prevention. We think that prevention comes from awareness raising, and education can be the turning key. So I will tell you something about how we see which is the phenomenon we are talking about. We are talking about inadequate and uninformed use of new technologies by young people. And our objective is to raise awareness of safer and more responsible usage of new technologies. But our intervention with children has changed over time, especially after coming in contact with them. When we first arrived at school, we discovered that children had the right answers and knew the right answers. What does it mean? Before our arrival, we were announced by teachers as a sort of computer doctors to help them handling with viruses and things like that. So when we arrived there, there was a sort of mechanism of right answers, because pupils in schools are expected to give right answers and to receive a good mark for right answers. But we were not interested in that. We wanted to know how do they use new technologies and why do they use it in an unsafely way. So we had to change something. Especially, we didn't want to be announced at all by teachers in order to avoid any preformed concept in their mind. And we didn't want to give them information about what we were really doing there before starting activities. The first things we wanted to do with them was to let them telling us about their use of new technologies. So the first thing was to have information from children and not to give information to children. And so that changes our interpretation of the phenomenon. So this slide shows you our work in progress, because at the onset we think that child uses some degree of critical judgment when using new technologies on the basis of the information he or she can have, and that adults, especially families and teachers in schools, supervise their use of new technologies and give them information on how to use new technologies safely. But in progress, we changed our work in the way that we were really interested in the relationship between minors and new technologies, because this relationship is linked to the needs and motivation which underlie their use. So we were really interested into an in-depth analysis of these needs. These needs are linked to children's inner worlds, to their relationship with their parents, schools, and communities. So these are very, very important. And we had to find the right methodology to come in contact with these needs, because it was not very easy to do it in a one-spot meeting with children. So in the end, we managed, especially through enhancing participation of children, and we discovered how do they interpret new technologies. first of all, we discovered that they hate they hate, we call technology as new technologies. They say these are news for you. They are not new at all for us because we have grown up with these technologies. They are just media for us. So we discovered that we were presenting our adult perspective. So what is really very important for children using new technologies is interactivity, is the fact they can interact with other people all over the world or with their friends and circle, and that they don't have spatial or temporal boundaries, because you can use everywhere. You can stay here and talk to someone elsewhere in the world, and with your mobile you can stay in contact with everyone wherever you are. And then here is a very strong point, is the emotional dimension in the use they made of new technologies. That is very, very important, because lots of emotion comes in the ground when they use mobile phones and the internet. And this is a turning point also to enhance safety, because especially when emotions starts and you are not able to recognize the emotion, you are not able to handle with this emotion, and maybe you start to do things that are not rational. So maybe you know rationally that you have to behave in this way to stay safety online, but you don't behave this way because emotion is guiding you, and you are not able to recognize this process. So another thing that is really very important for children is that through technologies they can taste participation in a way that they hardly can taste in the real world, in the adult's world, because there they can really express what they think, what they are, and it is difficult to find such spaces in real life. And also it is very important for their identity, because they define their identity in social networking, for instance, with their profiles and so on. And then there was a strong generation gap, and this is another very important problem, because as they feel more competent than adults in handling new technologies, they don't think that adults can help them, and they don't see their role in this matter. And also this is a problem also for teachers and parents, because they feel lost in this field, because they don't have computer literacy, and they feel inadequate they don't know what to teach to children. And then we discovered that there is a fine line between the virtual and the real world. At the beginning, we talked about real world and virtual world as two separated worlds, but we discovered that we had to stop with this kind of division, because children don't really see this kind of division. New technologies are part of the real world, and the emotions they can feel in the virtual world are very real for them. So if we want to communicate with them, we have to stop with this division. So how our approach, this is the development of our approach. So we started giving them information about the risks and giving them practical advices and behavioral rules, the so-called safety tips. But we realized that that was not enough, that was not effective if our aim was to change the online behavior. So we changed our intervention, and we start to reflect with them on the ways they use new technologies and on the ways they can behave in the virtual world, especially through participation. So, what does increasing awareness means? At the beginnings, we thought that awareness raising was giving children the knowledge of their risk and of the solutions, and to raise their consciousness. But then we discovered that reach their consciousness was very, very difficult, and that was not enough. So now we think that we have to pass from consciousness to a responsible behavior while using new media, especially because of the evolution. I'm telling you about our experience, which is 5 long years experience. So also technologies changed during this period, and especially with the advent of Web 2.0, everything has changed, because children are very, very active users and content producers, and so they have we have to enhance their responsibilities in the internet world, because they are active actors. So we passed from recommendations to reflections. This is twice. I think I have it twice. Sorry. Also, the objectives of our intervention changed. At the onset was to provide information on specific problems like privacy, cyberbullying, spamming, chat, and reflect on risks and opportunities. We presented this this phenomenon as a double phase phenomenon with opportunities and risk. But we then changed also our way of presentation, because it is sometimes it is very difficult to recognize risks and opportunities, or to share it clearly. And also safety tips, we gave them safety tips, but in the end we discovered that it is better that they find their safety tips on their own. We have just to facilitate a process to let these safety tips come out on their own. So in progress, we change in this way that we think that it is more important to act on children's sensitivities in how they relate, feel, and think about new technologies, to explore their emotion when using new media, to make them aware of these emotions and of the needs that lead their media usage, and to reflect on online rights and responsibilities. And for us, a safe and responsible user is able to use the instrument from a technical standpoint, is someone who recognizes and can deal with the emotions resulting from the use of new media, is prepared to take responsibility for the consequences of his or her own decisions, is aware of the respect that is rightfully due to all users, including himself or herself, is aware of and involved in his own rights. So, our task. Okay. Yes. our work has changed, but also has become more and more complex, as you can see. And so I just keep this because I wanted to present it, but time is over. So our proposal for teacher is to...
Just to see that we...
Okay. Our proposal for teacher is to implement the child rights convention as a didactic tool within the context of media education, and within a framework that explicitly refers to a wider concept of citizenship. So we made these didactic resources where we present our experience, how we intend the phenomenon, and we have a methodological chapter where we present a participative method to enhance participation in schools. We present the pedagogy of rights, which intends schools as a privileged context where children can know and experiment their rights. And media education as not just as a specific subject, but as something that all teachers can deal with. You don't have to be a computer teacher to go into media education. You can do it also if you are a literature teacher. You can do it using new media during your lessons. You can do it in many ways. So the pedagogy of rights see children as active social actors that has specific rights, but so they are the right holders. But there are a lot of duty bearers that comes into play in order to make this right real. If you think to the previous slide I showed you with the triangle and the circle, we see that children, young people, were the right holder in that slide, and that the duty bearer were teachers, parents, and all that is all the world around them, institutions, industries. Everyone has a responsibility in order to make children's rights real. And our responsibility as a children welfare organization is to facilitate this process, this flux, and to make children aware of their rights, yes, but also enhance, for instance, industry responsibilities or the government responsibilities. For instance, I don't know, with Vodafone Italy, we made a guide for parents to promote responsible use of mobile phones, and this is one of the ways you can enhance responsibilities of industries. Or with the government, the previous government, we conducted a communication campaign together to enhance online safety devoted to children and teachers and parents, and so on. You have to work a lot and with a lot of people in a multi-stakeholder approach. So what is the role of teachers? Teachers are the guides that have to facilitate a process in children to recognize their needs when using new technologies and to transform these needs in rights. Because if you have a need, it is subjective. It's just your need, and you have to look for the realization of this need. But if the need becomes a right, the right is objective and as an international protection as a right. So if we talk about online rights, children can be also more protected, and there will be more and more actors, duty bearers, and more responsibility on the ground, and it is not only the responsibility of children to stay safety online. So we promote in schools and in this manual the concept of digital citizenship as a body or collection of rights in order to transform these needs in rights, and as an entire collection of responsibility, especially when handling with Web 2.0, Web 2.0 tools, because when you act as an active actors, you have responsibility among the others users. And also digital citizenship recognize the identity, the strong identity dimension that is that children feel when they use new technology, and is a okay, sorry. Okay. Okay, so it's just to present you the educational process. There are lots of activities here that goes through this process. There are specific activities to explore emotions of children when using new technologies. Others to know to get information from children about their knowledge of new media. Others to transform needs into rights, and other activities to assess the whole educational process. And there are these tools that through these symbols you can recognize if an activity is about emotions, rights, or about more than two or three or things together. And we try to make teachers' life easy, identifying theme, required knowledge, how to divide children in groups, the objective of the activity, the expected results, the instruction for the activity. We try to tell them the more we can. So thank you, and sorry. Sorry, I should go.
Yeah, Maria Elisa, thank you very much for giving us your insights of your work in Italy. So I'm afraid you have to leave immediately. Yes. So have a safe flight back to Rome.